y'all, it's Hope at Crafting Hope, and welcome. I am continuing my daily index card a day or ICAD challenge. This challenge comes from Tammy Garcia, who is Daisy Yellow is her website, and she's Gypsy999 on Instagram, which is where you can share your ICADs using hashtag ICAD 2022 or hashtag ICAD or hashtag DY ICAD 2022. Any combination of those, people will be finding you, I am sure. So, Daisy Yellow. Tammy has, what is it, weekly themes and daily prompts. Today's prompt is pictogram. And I also have a prompt from Nina Fickett, which is the mixed media ICAD prompt. And her prompt is markers. Now, I put down these on the back of my cards every time they release the prompts. And then when it comes to the day of, I decide whether or not I'm going to use them. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. My first several cards, I stuck to them pretty well. Yesterday I did not. And today I thought, well, maybe I'll use markers. Spoiler, I don't. But pictogram, I knew, probably wasn't going to work for me very well. So yeah, I'm going off prompt again, y'all. That's what I did yesterday, and that's what's happening today. So today I didn't really have, other than maybe using markers, there was no plan. So I'm pulling out scraps. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I've got a whatchamacallit, a playlist I've made, and I'll have at the end of this that you can click on to watch my other videos for ICAD this year. But I'm using scraps from my scrap box. So that's one of my 2 scrap boxes over there. And y'all, I was just picking and choosing whatever was on top, little things, trying to use up as much of some of these little scraps as I can. And I use my Oohoo glue stick to stick them down. It covered this whole card. Sometimes I trim off the excess. This one I did not. There was just a tiny little bit coming over it. And y'all, you can see I'm sorting back through that scrap box. I am looking for something that could maybe be a focal. I pull out this Sari silk that I don't know where it came from. And then I'm going to pull out a little piece of pattern paper. Because as soon as, let me see, where is it? Somewhere in here I pull out the pattern paper. There it is. And I decide those things could be worked into my focal, and they do. So first thing I'm going to do is put a little color on this card, and I say color kind of loosely because what I'm going to grab are some distress sprays. One of them is the Distress Spray Stain and Tea Dye, and so you see I'm going to spritz just a little bit of that on there, and then I've got a Distress Oxide Spray and Vintage Photo. And again, I'm going to spritz a little bit on there and then dry these. So yeah, I've got some brown on there. That's, if you've watched some of my other cards, that's not usually where I go. I tend to like a bit of color. So here I'm bringing in, this is Distress Oxide Stamp Pad and Lucky Clover along with my hand-carved eraser stamps. And it kind of looks like a fern-ish botanical thing. And I chose that because 1 or 2 of my little pieces of scraps had a little green on it. And I thought, okay, we'll roll with some green. As well, that Sari silk that I've pulled out has kind of a checkerboardy or checkered, a checkered green and kind of teal pattern on it. So that's what I was kind of going with. And then I've got that pattern paper there. And these are the tiny toadstool stamps from Tim Holtz. Y'all, I'm using so many Tim Holtz products today, it's crazy. So I've got my stays on, and I am stamping one of those toadstools onto my sewing pattern. And yeah, this is going to be part of my focal. So I'm going to tear around that. And y'all, I've got a ton of stamps I didn't make, but I don't hardly use them. But these Tim Holtz toadstool ones, y'all, I could probably put them on everything. I love them so much. Them and fairy wings could just go on everything, I think. I love that kind of stuff, the mystical fantasy. That's totally my jam. So I've got my toadstools on my sewing pattern, and so I'm going to use, what is that, some matte fluid matte medium, because it helps the edges of that sewing paper just kind of disappear, kind of makes everything I don't know, meld into it. So I'm using that, but I could have just as easily used my Uhu glue stick. I'm just using that because I have it. So once that is on there, I'm going to start thinking about, actually, I've got to fix some things. I think I'm going to start thinking about that piece of fabric I have there, and I realize I need some of that tealy color in. So I've grabbed, this is just an Anita's acrylic, an island green, and I'm going to put it on a little palette here, water it down, and splatter, because yeah, what's the easiest way to add color? So just splatter it. So I'm going to splatter. There's a couple spots on there that react with some of the distress sprays and distress oxides that it's really kind of cool. You'll see it in the photos at the end, my detail shots. So I'll splatter that on there. I think I'm going to dry this again. Maybe. I can't remember the order. I just did this and I cannot tell you the order at which I did these things. All right, I dried it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut down this recycled sari silk that I've got. I don't know where this came from. I would tell y'all, but I think maybe it was in some Happy Meal because I don't tend to store mine on clothespins like that. It's something I think somebody sent me, maybe. I don't know. That's awful, right? So I've cut that down and I'm trying to decide what I want to use for a sentiment because I always have to have a sentiment. And I went to the store yesterday and bought a new pack of quote chips. These are the newer ones. I think they're called the Theories one. And I like them, I have to say, a little bit more than my original pack of the quote chips because I like the fonts more. Yeah, I know, it's a weird thing, but it's me. So I'm going to futz with this just a little bit and decide that that white of that quote chip is awful bright. So I need to bring some more white onto my page. I love balance. I had to bring that teal in to go with the fabric, and now I have to bring in the white, but it gives some balance to my card if I want everything to feel like it kind of belongs there. So I used my fine liner, which has got half airbrush medium and half fluid acrylic and white. And I just did a little scribble around my mushrooms to help them kind of pop on the page. And then I'm going to grab just my regular matte gel medium and glue that little stack of fabric and quote chip down. And that'll be it for this week. I have to tell you that when I made this card, when I finished it, it took me a little longer than some of my others. I wasn't completely happy. I felt like I'd overworked it a little. But looking at it now, I know I like it. I like it much more. It was just, I think I was frustrated because I took so much time to think about this and get the balance right. And that's not really what I've been wanting to do with these ICADs. So, but it worked out. It's fine. So here's a couple looks. Let me know if you have any questions. Make sure to like and subscribe. That helps all of the algorithms and that craziness. And I have to tell you, I really appreciate y'all coming by and watching this. All right, y'all. Thanks. Bye.